The sun was dipping low over the manicured lawns of Willow Creek Estates when the police cruiser pulled up to my driveway, sirens blaring like a bad omen. I froze, paintbrush in hand, staring at the officer stepping out with a hand on his holster. "Sir, you're under arrest for trespassing and vandalism," he barked, cuffing me before I could even drop the brush. Trespassing? On my own property? That was the moment I knew Karen from the HOA had gone too far. This wasn't just a neighborhood. Spat. It was war. My name is Alex Rivera, and I'd moved to Willow Creek 2 years ago, chasing the American dream, a quiet suburb, a cozy 3-bedroom ranch, and enough yard space to finally indulge my passion for gardening. The house was a fixer-upper, but it had character-peeling paint on the shutters, a wildflower bed I'd planted myself, and a backyard fence that leaned just enough to remind me of my grandfather's old farm. What I didn't count on was the Homeowners Association, a cabal of busybodies led by Karen Whitaker, the self-appointed queen of conformity. Karen was the type who measured grass height with a ruler and sent violation notices for bird feeders that clashed with the aesthetic. I'd ignored her petty emails at first, but that day, as I sat in the back of the squad car, humiliation burning in my cheeks, I realized ignoring her had been a mistake. It all started innocently enough. My wife Maria and I had decided to repaint our front door a vibrant tealed, nothing outrageous, just a pop of color to match the azaleas we'd planted. The HOA guidelines allowed for neutral tones, but teal, apparently that was a crime against suburbia. Karen showed up unannounced that afternoon, her clipboard clutched like a shield, lips pursed in perpetual disapproval. "Mr. Rivera, this color is not approved," she snapped, her voice dripping with faux politeness. "You'll need to repaint it beige or face fines." I laughed it off, telling her we'd chosen it to reflect our heritage teal like the ocean in Maria's hometown in Mexico. But Karen didn't laugh. She stormed off, muttering about standards, and I thought that was the end of it. By evening, the cops were there. Turns out Karen had called them, claiming I'd invaded a common area and was defacing property. My driveway? A common area? It was absurd, but the officer explained that the HOA had filed a complaint, complete with photos and a sworn statement from Karen accusing me of harassment. As the cuffs clicked shut, I caught a glimpse of her peeking from her window across the street, a smug smile on her face. Maria rushed out, tears streaming, begging the cop to listen, but he just shook his head. "Take it up with the board, ma'am." That night, I spent hours in a holding cell, the fluorescent lights buzzing like angry bees, my mind racing with fury and disbelief. How could this happen in my own home? Released on bail the next morning, I stumbled back to Willow Creek, the neighborhood that now felt like enemy territory. Maria was waiting, her eyes red from crying, our 2 kids, Sophia, 8, and little Mateo, 5, clinging to her legs. "Papa, why did the police take you?" Sophia asked, her voice small and scared. I knelt down, forcing a smile. "Just a misunderstanding." "Mia, it'll be okay." But inside, rage boiled. This wasn't just about a door. It was about control, about Karen's need to dominate everyone who didn't fit her cookie-cutter vision. I hugged my family tight, feeling the weight of their fear, and vowed silently she wouldn't get away with this. The HOA meeting that week was a circus. Held in the community center, it was packed with neighbors, some sympathetic, others nodding along with Karen like loyal subjects. She stood at the podium, her pearl necklace gleaming under the harsh lights, reading from a prepared statement. "Mr. Rivera's actions have disrupted the harmony of our community. Not only did he violate color guidelines, but he verbally assaulted me when I politely informed him. Lies. Pure lies." When it was my turn to speak, I laid it out. The arrest was baseless. My property was mine, and this was harassment. But the board Karen's cronies dismissed me. "Apologize to Mrs. Whitaker, and we'll drop the fines," the president said, his tone condescending. Apologize? For painting my own door? The room erupted in murmurs, and as I left, Karen cornered me in the hallway. "Admit you're wrong, Alex, and this all goes away," she whispered, her eyes cold. I walked away without a word, but suspense hung in the air like storm clouds. I knew she wasn't done. Days turned into weeks of escalating tension. Fines arrived in the mail. $500 for the door, another $200 for unapproved landscaping. My wildflowers. Too untidy. Maria started getting anonymous notes in our mailbox. Fit in or move out. What? The kids came home from school whispering about classmates teasing them. Your dad's a criminal. Puss. Sophia stopped playing outside, and Mateo's nightmares began. Emotionally, it wrecked us. Maria and I argued more than ever. She wanted to repaint the door and end it, but I couldn't back down. This is our home, Maria. If we give in, what's next? They dictate what we eat for dinner? Tears flowed freely in those late-night talks, her hand in mine. Both of us exhausted but united in our pain. I started digging. Late at night, after the kids were asleep, I'd pore over HOA documents, state laws, anything to fight back. That's when I found the cracks in Karen's armor. Willow Creek's HOA bylaws were riddled with inconsistencies. Turns out the common area she claimed included my driveway was a clerical error from years ago. More digging revealed Karen had a history. Lawsuits from previous neighborhoods, accusations of embezzling funds. Suspense built as I uncovered emails she'd sent to the board plotting to make an example of me. One neighbor, old Mr. Jenkins next door, confided over coffee. She's done this before, son. Ran a family out last year over a swing set. His voice trembled, fear in his eyes. Be careful. She's got connections. The turning point came when the police dropped the charges. My lawyer, a sharp woman named Alina, who'd taken my case pro bono after hearing the story, shredded their complaint in court. This is a civil matter at best, Your Honor. No crime here. As the judge banged the gavel, relief washed over me, but it was short-lived. Karen doubled down, slapping a lien on our house for unpaid fines. That night, as Maria sobbed in my arms, I made the call. We were suing. Not just Karen, but the entire HOA board for false arrest, emotional distress, defamation, the works. Alina grinned over the phone. We've got them, Alex. This could be big. Filing the lawsuit was cathartic, but the suspense ratcheted up. Neighbors whispered behind curtains. Karen's car vanished for days, rumors swirling she'd lawyered up with some high-powered firm. Our mailbox filled with more threats, anonymous calls in the dead of night. One evening, I found our teal door splashed with red paint, criminal. Scrawled across it, Maria gasped, clutching Mateo. Alex, what if they hurt us? Her fear mirrored mine, but I pushed it down. They won't. We're fighting back. Lena advised caution. Document everything. Install cameras. The emotional toll was immense. Sleepless nights. The kids' innocence shattered. Our marriage strained to the breaking point. Discovery phase was a revelation. Subpoenaed emails showed Karen's vendetta. The Riveras are bringing down property. Values with their ethnic flair, one read, racist undertones dripped from every line. The board knew and did nothing. Witnesses emerged, former members who'd fled her tyranny. Mr. Jenkins testified, his voice steady now. She's a bully. As depositions loomed, Karen cracked out. She showed up at our door at one rainy afternoon, umbrella dripping, face pale. Settle this privately, she pleaded. Apologize and I'll lift the lien. The audacity floored me. Apologize? You had me arrested? I slammed the door, heart pounding. Is this desperation or a trap? The trial date approached like a storm. Media caught wind. Local news ran segments. Suburban nightmare. Man sues HOA after wrongful arrest. Support poured in. GoFundMe for legal fees hit 5 figures. But suspense peaked when Alina uncovered financial irregularities Karen had. Funneled HOA dues into personal accounts. Embezzlement charges loomed. On the eve of trial, Maria and I sat on our porch, teal door gleaming defiantly. I'm scared, Alex, she admitted, but proud. I kissed her forehead, emotion swirling. Love, anger, hope. Court day dawned crisp. The courtroom buzzed as I took the stand, recounting the arrest, the humiliation, the toll on my family. Sophia's drawing a stick figure me in handcuffs centered, as evidence drawing gasps. Karen testified next, her composure crumbling under cross-examination. It was a misunderstanding, she stammered. Lena pounced, or retaliation. By day's end, the jury looked sympathetic. The verdict came swift. Guilty on all counts. Damages. awarded $250,000 for emotional distress. Punitive fines against the HOA. Karen's face drained of color as the judge ordered her resignation. Outside, reporters swarmed, but I sought her out. "No apology needed," I said quietly. "Justice speaks for itself." She slunk away, defeated. Today, Willow Creek is changing. Do board, inclusive rules. Our teal door stands proud, a symbol of resilience. Rhea and I rebuilt stronger, the kids laughing again. But I'll never forget that siren wealth hook that pulled me into battle. In suburbia, sometimes the real threats wear pearls and wield clipboards.